Hello, this is Jer. I'm playing Oxygen Not Included. Today I'm starting a challenge to get all achievements in this game. That includes the spaced out DLC achievements down here. I will need to pay special attention to 3 achievements early on in this game, because if I don't, I will never be able to achieve them in this colony. The first is the Carnivore, where my dupes will need to eat 400,000 calories of meat before the 100th cycle. The second is the Locavore, where my dupes will need to eat the same number of calories of any type, but without farming whatsoever. The third is super sustainable, where I cannot build natural gas, petroleum, wood, or coal burners until generating a lot of power. The first two kind of go together, where I need to produce a lot of meat for my dupes. The third means I need to rely on the manual generator heavily early on. This is going to be a challenge, so let's get started. Starting in survival mode with the training asteroid that has a lot of metal-rich traits. Dupe selection just might matter here. I have a strong researcher with a quick learner trait. I also have a skilled animal-loving dupe. The third is a general dig and builder. Once I landed, I'm recklessly exploring the base. This is going to allow me to decide where to build the main ladder for transportation, living quarters, and the large ranch. I also want to know where the teleporter is because I want access to that very soon. Once I know all that information, I'll load back to the starting point. I'm telling my dupes that only researchers should generally research, also telling rancher to concentrate on ranching, and builder will focus on digging than building. The first cycle is just about establishing a barracks and a latrine. After that, I'm getting a research station together with a manual generator and an oxygen diffuser. Halfway through the third cycle, it's a few seconds from the printing pod allowing us to make our first selection of a blueprint. So I make a save. That way, if I don't like the selection, I can always reload and get new options to choose from. In the end, I selected a dupe with a MECHATRONICS engineering skill trait. That's going to allow me to have automation early on. I've constructed a mess hall to up morale, as well as to hopefully consume a lot of meat in this area going forward. I'm getting a water pitch together and tasking my dupes to farm wild plants. I'm only building 3 outhouses, so setting the schedule with offsets with a maximum of 3 dupes per schedule. I'm digging out a path to the teleporter. I'm lucky that I do not have to dig through granite to get there. Thanks to my skilled researcher, I'm able to quickly upgrade my mess hall to a great hall. I'm giving my engineer a greater carrying capacity. Quick tip here, if you notice that your dupes are going back and forth between the construction area, lock them in that area until they're done. Of course, don't forget to let them out when they're complete. Once I have access to the teleporter, I'm looking at the destination to that teleportation, as well as having a quick look at the geysers that I'm going to have access to plan for further on down the line. In the morning, I select an engineer to be the first teleported dupe into this new world. Their first task is going to be to defrost a friend. I save before that happens just in case I don't like the dupe that they unfreeze. They unfreeze someone who's narcoleptic. No thank you. They defrosted someone who's a farter. Not on my base. A mouth breather. Ugh. Bottomless stomach. That is the worst. A shabby dresser. I can deal with that. They also like building and critter ranching. With their ancient knowledge, I assign them the critter ranching skills. Only one dupe can return at the moment. I get my new dupe called Animal to go back to the main world. Engineer stays behind to build an outhouse and a cot. A supercomputer has been constructed. I'm also making room for up to 6 dupes in my barracks and great hall. The first dupe to be leveled up is Builder, and I'm giving them the hard digging skill. Next is Scientist, receiving the advanced research skill, of course. Rancher is just behind getting the improved farming skill. I quickly build my first ranch. The ranch is designed so that hatches can only crawl around 4 tiles, preventing animal from having to wait while hatches travel to the grooming station. Immediately after, I look for any hatches for animal to wrangle to put in the ranch. Also make sure to make the floor out of tiles to prevent hatches from hiding from animal inside the ranch. I have accepted a new dupe that likes to operate and is fast on their feet. I'll give them the improved carrying skill. So now I've got 2 schedules that are offset with 3 dupes per schedule. At this point in the game, it's all about digging out as many buried objects as you can to find those hatches. I've noticed a shine bug in my ranch. I allow them to stay until I get credit for the tamed shine bug in the Critter Whisperer achievement. I also note that I'm able to get several achievements without even focusing in on them. I was able to find 6 hatches so far. So this is how ranches work. If a ranch is 96 tiles in size, then it can comfortably hold 8 critters and eggs combined. I set the maximum number of a drop-off station to be 7. This will give my dupe time to remove an egg as they are laid. I also start construction of a second ranch just below. Nighttime is a good time to see if any hatches have been uncovered. For my Critter Whisperer achievement, I already tamed a hatch and a shinebug. The first egg has been laid. Right now, my hatches are happy as there are 7 hatches and 1 egg. One more egg though, and they become unhappy. A happy hatch lays more egg, and that is exactly what we want. So we need the dupe to remove the eggs. Let's build a bin for critter eggs and get a dupe to sweep it out at a high priority. Scientist does the job. Now another hatch can lay an egg without causing it to be cramped. Eggs in bins will not hatch, so I turn the critter egg setting in the bin off and on again, and that dumps the eggs on the ground where they can later hatch. Built a set of jumbo batteries and removed my regular battery. This process of removing eggs will need to happen several times a cycle. Not to worry though, Jer, we will automate this in the future. In the smellier of the asteroids, my dupe has constructed a Great Hall of their own. The timeout for the teleportation system is also up, so I get them to come home. Continually remembering to sweep eggs again and again. I built a rock crusher to be able to make some metal. Oh, thank goodness, I've built an automatic dispenser. I set that at a high priority to have critter eggs dropped in there. Now this will cause an infinite loop of egg deliveries if I'm not careful. Let's watch here as Rancher has dropped off an egg, and Operator has noticed that egg's been dropped on the ground, and then delivers it again to the automatic dispenser in an infinite loop. The solution here is to use doors to control access. I only allow ranchers to access the bottom door to wrangle hatches, while all the other dupes are the only ones that can access the automatic dispenser above. This will prevent dupes that drop off eggs in the automatic dispenser from picking them up again. The eggs need to be dropped off at least 4 tiles below for this to work. A new dupe has joined that likes to build and cook. Let's give Engineer the carrying skill and Cook the grilling skill. Scientist gets field research. I built an incubator. I'm going to use this single incubator to give all my eggs the lullaby trait, increasing their hatch progress by 20% per cycle. I'm also using my first bit of automation to trap a rancher into this room to get the job done. Builder gets super digging and Operator gets the operating skills. Let me explain this system here. I've got the top room, which works pretty much the same as before. That's where dupes are going to take eggs that are in the ranches at high priority and drop it off here. The only difference is I'm only going to allow half of the non-ranching dupes to be able to go in there. So selecting 3 of the non-ranchers to go in there. I've got another automatic dispenser here. This one also drops off eggs, but only eggs that I've swept. So the eggs that I've specifically marked as being swept. And the other half of the dupes, the non-ranching dupes, will be able to go in there. So I'll select Operator and Cook to be able to access that room. The one that's to the right of it, everyone can go in there, including, most importantly, the ranchers that'll be able to take the critters that have turned into adults. Let's see this thing in action. All cycle long, when a dupe detects an egg in a ranch, they drop it off at the top. Now I can select all the eggs that do not have the lullaby trait. That's going to be all of them at the moment because I haven't processed any of them in the incubator. Operator has taken the call and they are dropping off eggs to the room below for us. I've marked the incubator to process an egg, and I'm telling the dupes that only ranchers can go in that room. And the moment a rancher does, I'm going to trap them in. Ha ha ha. Let's wait for that. Animal, why don't you come down into this room? And once you do, I'm going to lock you in. Perfect. They're going to put an egg in the incubator. I'll give it a little hug. That's going to create the lullaby effect, 20% growth per cycle. Nice. I can remove the egg. They're still going to have that effect for up to a cycle. I'm then going to have this automatic dispenser put in eggs that have been marked as swept. So I'll sweep that egg. They'll drop it on the ground. And then they can work on a new egg, an egg that doesn't have the lullaby effect, give that a hug, and repeat that whole process. And then a different dupe will pick up that egg that's fallen down, drop it off at the top, restarting the whole cycle. Final note before I end this episode, I can now see all eggs, some of which have the lullaby effect and some that don't in this spot. So I can selectively mark the ones that don't have the lullaby and drop them off, continuing the whole process.
So that is the incubator setup. I hope you'll join me this next episode where we can see it run in action.